Fire, 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 fire.
Alright. We'll have to watch Spiffing Brit. What is this? Age of War? Oh, it's a Flash game. Yeah, I used to play a lot of Flash games. Because my parents' laptop was really bad. It was terrible. Yeah. The game was golden. Okay, let's see it. What's this about?
Do you remember Age of War?
No.
I do. This is my favorite Flash game, and chances are you fall into one of two categories. Number one, this is also your favorite Flash game, or category two, you weren't even alive when it first came out in 2007.
Shit,
For everyone in category one, I'm sorry for mentally aging you by 200 years. Anyway, this is a surprisingly simple game. You have a base, the enemy has a base, and you throw units at each other until one side loses. There are special abilities and different units tied to different ages. It's a great game. However, there is one aspect of this game that has eluded me my entire life. And so today, I've decided to return and set things straight. The impossible mode difficulty was, for an entire generation of gamers, impossible. There are forums dedicated to trying to decode the actual path to beat this game's highest difficulty. It is insane. So now that I am a professional game exploiter, I thought I should return and see if this impossible game is actually easy. Right, here we are, crazy game.
I think a lot of games when I played like Flash games and stuff back in the day, they were only hard because I was fucking stupid. Like looking back at it now, there was like a game that was like a bootleg translated Russian game called Sheep. And like, yeah, it's a little hard, but like I was like so disappointed. I bought that game because they were like released it on Steam and I played it. And I was like, I mean, this is kind of hard, but like, damn, I was fucking stupid.
Games.com, the home of all of the best Flash games you could possibly imagine. Prepare for nostalgia.
Games.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Wow, pro game.
And they were all like basically free, bro. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, amount of games that came out, like funnygames.biz, mini clips. Oh my god.
So yeah, this game was made by one person in Flash, and you can tell that by the fact that if you click the button that says extras, good job, presumably child developer of this video game. Oh, God. Anyway, we're going to play ourselves a game. We've got normal, harder, and impossible. But come on, I've played tens of thousands of hours of video games. I am a god at everything I touch. There is absolutely no way that impossible difficulty is going to be too difficult for me. Yes, it's quite simple. The enemies spawn in, and I've got my units. I've got my base that I'll defend, and I'll train my clubmen. There we go, I've got all of my units coming out. I've spent all of my money. It's just one slight issue. My units die in 2 hits, but their units take like 4 to kill. A game that doesn't seem very fair. This impossible difficulty doesn't seem well balanced at all. Quick, let's get some more units out. Oh no. Oh no, this is very bad.
Yo,
I have
is he
no
getting
money.
shit
And
on?
the enemy are at my gates. Right, well, impossible difficulty is impossible? Wait, hang on a second, I meant to be a god gamer. How can I be destroyed by impossible difficulty? No!
You're getting shit on.
And of course the dev has to flex on me. Maybe you didn't tried hard enough.
Maybe you didn't try.
Yes, I agree. Maybe I didn't tried hard enough. So impossible difficulty is very impossible. The enemy units have significantly more health, they do significantly more damage. So even if I was to mirror the opposition's actions, and for every clubman they sent out, I sent out my own, I would just inevitably lose. But what if I told you it didn't have to be this way, and the path to actually beating the impossible difficulty is to lose? Yes, that's right. In order to win, you must first understand loss.
Oh my god, this fucking comic.
This
comic was like one of the first memes that like you really had to get the inside joke to get the understanding. There's like one that was so devolved that you could understand it just based off of like 2 blobs. Yeah, I love this meme. Yeah, is this loss?
Understand loss. And in order to lose, we're going to play on normal difficulty.
Shit.
That's right, it's just a regular game. So, welcome to the
Yes, the bars! You guys know what I'm talking about. Yes, that thing!
The catchy soundtrack
Little
is here,
bars.
and on normal
Beep, beep,
difficulty,
beep.
everything is basically a complete fair playing
So,
field, where the
man.
main advantage I have over the AI is that I am ever so slightly more competent in decision making than they are. Now, of course, the enemy have
okay.
defeated my first initial wave, but luckily I can activate my special, which is to summon raining meteors from the sky that
Okay.
one-hit absolutely every enemy unit.
That's
Great
nice.
stuff, we get a
And you
load
got
of
the
money,
money.
and now they continue their march towards our base. Luckily for
Okay.
me, I can buy the ultimate deadly weapon, the Egg Automatic. This is a hammer that is quite simply rigged up to some kind of chicken that in
Oh,
turn,
no!
when hit,
They
will
wouldn't
fire
like
out
this.
eggs. So with this glorious weapon, we can very comfortably start making more progress in the game. And
Okay.
rest assured that the enemy can't get close to our base. Honestly, I love this game. There's so much nostalgia for me just being back here. The music, the very simple graphics, the poor
There's
chicken
just
being whacked
something
by a
about
hammer
it,
over and
man.
over again.
Because it wasn't a game made to make money. It was a game just to have fun. I know. It's like, I don't know, man. I feel bad. You said it's so good, chat.
Yes, it's everything I love and more. Now, the enemy AI
Bing,
isn't
bing,
exactly
bing, bing.
very
Yeah, like
advanced, as you
actual
could probably
art.
guess from
You're
a game
doing
that
it
came
for
out in
fun, not for the
2007.
monies.
It's mostly set up on a predetermined path without much added complexity. But as
bing,
time
bing,
goes
bing.
on, it will get more powerful and it will bring out more deadly units like
Okay.
these Dino Riders. Yes, they
Ooh,
pretty
no.
much just one-hit anything I throw out in front of them. The only issue is I can hit them with a meteor and they still die in one
Alright.
hit.
How do
Perfect
you deal with
stuff.
it?
So, as the music swells, let's
Oh,
train
it's
some
a-
clubmen
you go through
and
the
send out a few
ages.
slingshot man and undergo the glorious prehistoric arms race. Okay, the Dino
Oh,
Rider is
man, this
actually
is
really
actually-
powerful. Look at
Yo,
him go.
what do you do?
Okay, and the enemy AI is actually upgraded to the next age because
no.
yes, this is
Oh,
Age
no, they
of
got
War,
knights.
not War of the Prehistoric Era, which means that as you gather experience, provided you hit the 4,000 mark, you can
Indeed.
head on to the next age and begin the very exciting process of summoning in knights to fight. Of course, unfortunately for these poor knights, I can just still whack a meteor on their head, and with the experience generated, wha-bam, we're now also in the medieval era,
Okay.
and I can train my own swordsmen, and I can even build a catapult, which, as we all know, is the second best medieval siege weapon.
True, you can
But all
throw
of this
people
raises
out
a
of it.
question. As you can tell, on normal difficulty, I am more than proficient to actually beat the game. In fact, it really wouldn't be that much of a challenge. Even the me of
Someone
yesteryear could
hand drew
probably
this,
do this
man.
with my eyes closed. But we're not here to beat the normal difficulty. We're here for the impossible difficulty, which means we must enter the Renaissance Age. And for that, we need 14,000 experience. So let the
lot.
farming of these gentlemen begin. I guess one thing to mention is that every age is slightly
It's
different,
the
not
horse
just in
from
its
the
units, but also in your
extra.
special power. So for example, in this age, we have the fire arrow rather than the meteor. And let's
Okay.
unleash a wave of 5 archers. That should be enough to
Wait.
deal with this horse. I
Wait, they look like they have guns.
do really like that they're called archers, despite the
Holy
fact that they're
shit.
clearly using a crossbow, but you know.
Oh, it's a crossbow.
And we're
I
actually
was like,
ready for the
what?
next era. We've got 14,000 experience, so we're going to do just that. Welcome
why do
to
they
the
have guns
Renaissance
already?
era of the game. In this era, we can train ourselves a duelist who is very proficient and very tanky in
Okay.
comparison to the soldiers of old. However, there
Nice.
is one issue. I said my goal is to lose, so we're going to engage a little bit of shenanigan here. Because in the third age of the game, the Renaissance era,
What the fuck? You summon Jesus? This game's OP.
we gain access to this ability here, the
Yo!
presumably Jesus on a cross ability. This is a
Holy,
healing
is
skill.
Jesus gonna
Quite simply, if
one-shot
we
him?
have any units out on the battlefield who are injured and this ability is activated, they will slowly begin regaining their health. It's very
that's
powerful,
OP.
but as it's a special ability, it only lasts for a short period of time. That is, unless you start thinking ever so slightly outside of the box.
Okay.
And that's where exploits come into the picture, because I've
Uh-oh.
deleted all
You can exploit fucking Flash games.
of my towers, and now right as we get down to having no HP, I activate my special ability. Now you might say, Spiff, hang on a second, you activated a special ability that heals units without having any units on the battlefield and then just immediately
Does it
lost
count
the
as a
game. What's
unit?
the point of that? Well, in video game coding perspective, what I've done is I've activated the line of code that activates the healing ability, and that means the healing ability is
Oh, the
toggled
house
into
is
an
a
on
unit.
position. However, because the game has ended, we've actually bypassed any lines of code that would mean that this should be turned off, which means that when I press play again and select
Oh,
impossible
you
difficulty,
rat
something very interesting
bastard.
will happen. I can spend $100 on a Dino Rider and some money on these slingshot men,
Oh
and you'll
my
notice that
God,
my
you
units have a
rat
faint godly
bastard.
glow on them. This godly glow is the healing glow. So
But
yes,
doesn't the enemy have it too? Or
when
is it
this
just
unit
bugged
hits us
out?
here, you'll notice the Dino Rider's health
is
pool
so
just simply
OP. Fuck this
refreshes.
guy.
Yes, it really is as powerful as that. It's absurdly powerful, in fact. Of course, course, the enemy themselves also have a faint yellow glow on them, but you can just ignore it. Theirs isn't real, mine is.
Yep.
So yes, we've
Visual
bypassed
glitch.
the game's logic and escaped the laws of reality that were
Dude,
constraining
so
me in my
cringe.
place. We now have a Dino Rider that can self-heal, and whilst the enemy do have some
Pew, pew,
dangerous
pew.
units, we're positioned so that we can actually defeat them. I mean, even on impossible difficulty, my slingshots are able to take multiple attacks. Let's activate the meteors. Go, meteors,
Bam,
go!
bam, bam,
None of you are
bam,
targeting
bam.
the enemy base.
Perfectly
Great, that was the worst
balanced, that's
meteoring I've
right.
ever seen. All right, come on, we're starting to get close to their base. Come on, get their slingshot people. Go, slingshot people. Okay, the AI
Get
has
'em.
now actually been able to train their own dino riders, which is, you know, great for them. I don't really care about that. Good for you. Unfortunately, because we're on impossible difficulty, even though I am technically cheating by having healing,
They're still
their
beating
dino
you?
riders.
That's how you know this fucking... Dude, that's so unfair. I hated that shit.
Are actually just really,
Yeah, we just
really
give them
absurdly
more health
powerful,
and
and there
more
is not much I
attacks.
can do to stop them. Great. Okay, it looks like we're not going to be able to beat them in the first stage of the game. We're going to have to get creative and fight them in the next stage.
All right.
So we send out those meteors, and you know what? We can actually do something cheesy here. I'm going to press the space bar, which
Okay.
pauses the game. Now, you might remember that the meteor ability is really overpowered. It targets all of the enemy units,
Mm-hmm.
and it blows them up. There's just one slight issue. Pausing the game doesn't actually pause the cooldown timer on that. So, quite simply, when I unpause the game like so, progress on that meteor cooldown has been made. But provided I wait a few more seconds and then press unpause, you'll notice that the meteor ability is now almost completely off cooldown. I will pause the game again, we'll wait a few more seconds, and would you look at that, despite just being used, the meteor ability is ready to go
Dude.
once more. Meaning that yes, in order to push back the enemy, I technically don't even need any units. I just need to know how to use the pause function. Okay, the AI has leveled up into the next era, so you know what, we'll actually join them there. We're in the
Alright.
medieval times. Go, my lovely swordsman, go. Okay, you're
Get
not
'em.
actually very good at your job. Instead, I'll get a knight behind you. Okay, so we've got all of these swordmen coming out to attack us, but here's my plan. We can cheese the game by activating the arrow rain, and there we go. Now if we pause the game once
And now
more,
we're gonna
all we have
wait
to do is wait
again,
the 60
dude.
seconds necessary for the timer to reset. It's actually the perfect amount of time to have a lovely sip of a cup of tea, and also for
so
me to
British,
contemplate
man.
something. You know, a lot of you don't actually think that I'm as powerful in real life as I am in these videos, but allow
And?
me to prove it. I know that statistically 25% of you watching right now are doing so on a TV, which means you're using speakers, which gives me the ability to do
I'm
this.
not using speakers.
Alexa, order 400 bags of Yorkshire Tea Gold and subscribe to the Spiffing Brit.
I don't have that. I'm using headphones, bro.
See, it really is that easy. Thank you, basic
No.
security vulnerabilities.
I like tea,
right,
so
onwards.
I don't
I
mind.
think my arrows are ready.
Actually,
so we
no
unpause,
ad,
and
crazy.
there we go. All of the enemy's forces have been struck by arrows,
also don't have an
and our
Alexa
march to
either,
the enemy
true.
base continues. I'm going to pause once again. God, it's such a bop. What a song. What a song.
True,
Right,
it is a
unpause.
bop.
Arrows are almost
I've
ready.
never played
the
this,
enemy
but it's a
punched up
bop.
again. We're going to send out a knight. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we unpause. Arrows are ready. Let's go. We actually pause so that all of the arrows get, you know, bogged up at the start of the screen. And then they all come down as one lovely wave, which means the enemy can't dodge. That's how I like to play. Maximum cheese mode. All right, we pause the game once more. All
you're
right, that
such a
should be enough
cheeser.
time. My arrows ready. Yes, they are. Right, we'll wait for the enemy to spawn in their units and activate the arrows, pause the game, and release the arrows.
Such
Oh,
a
they bought a
cheeser.
pot of oil. How frustrating. All right, we'll pause. We'll pause. We need the arrows. All right, so my arrows should be ready. Let's go, arrows. Go. Do your thing. Yes, perfect. We have a nice clean line
Such
towards
a-
the enemy.
A
But-
few moments later.
Badoo, badoo. Oh, we can move to the next stage now. Lovely.
Okay.
I think we're actually ahead of the AI,
Is he gonna
which
beat
might
it,
allow
man?
me to just buy some guns
Cheeser.
instead. Go! Rifles. Okay, you're really not that powerful. I think these are meant to be musketeer, but of course there's, you know, some kind of spelling going on here. Oh my gosh, despite my best efforts, the AI is actually marching on our base in
Uh-oh.
very effective fashion.
And while cheating!
This horse is really powerful. I might die here. This might actually be the end. Yep, this is the end, because my special only allows me to heal, which is useless because I don't have any money. Great, this is a do-over. Right, I'll be back after I
cringe.
set up my exploit and get back to the Renaissance era.
Bum, bum, bum,
Alright, we're finally back, and our opponents have made it to the Renaissance Age, which is really dangerous because these swordsmen on impossible difficulty one-hit mine. So yes, we don't exactly stand a chance against them. So this time, in order to give us an edge, we're having to use a little bit of cheaty technology, otherwise known as turrets. Basically, what I've done is that before heading into the next stage of the game, I've deliberately loaded myself up with a large amount of money. So that way, when we do evolve, we should hopefully have ourselves some turrets that will do the job of defeating the enemy for us, because we won't be able to use our special ability, as we already have our healing bonus active. But yes, the enemy's units are just fundamentally too powerful. Impossible difficulty is well and truly impossible, and the main reason I'm still able to get through it is that my healing ability lets my units last just a little bit longer, and that by pausing the game, my special attacks head off of cooldown, allowing me to do massive amounts of damage to the enemy. That, and also pausing the game when activating the special attack, allows us to basically blanket bomb the entire map. Right, with that final kill complete, I think we move on to the next stage. And with this, we buy ourselves a large cannon turret. This bad boy is going to shoot the enemy and hopefully do a decent amount of damage. We're also going to grab ourselves a jeweler, who, as we can see, still absolutely gets shredded by the enemy. So we're all going to need to do our best here to try and defeat the enemy that is most definitely absolutely horrifically overpowered. I'm going to delete some other turrets, so that way I hopefully have enough money to buy another unit. Oh my goodness, I'm going to die again, aren't I? Oh my goodness, we are so close to death at all times. This is mental. Okay, we've now got 2 cannons up and running, but even so, with the enemy's guns, they output a ridiculous amount of damage. Okay, right, we're finally back out on the offensive, and hopefully we can build up a little bit of cash in our reserves, so that way we can get a turret going, because oh my goodness, yes, they've got themselves a cannon. Yeah, the cannon is just a massive one-hit kill machine. There is absolutely nothing we can do to stop it, and it will basically one-hit our base if we're not careful, so we need to churn out units like nobody's business, otherwise we will die. Come on, quickly, get them out, get them out, get them out, otherwise we're dead. We'll all be dead if we don't have them. Oh my goodness, that was close. That was way too close. We're almost at the stage where we have enough experience to move on to the next stage, which means the AI will probably be there soon as well. And they've brought out another cannon boy. Oh my god, it's the worst. It's just the worst. Oh, there we go. Next era. Go, 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 go. Send out our bomb. There we go. Bomb plane is now going to unleash a carpet bombing. Deploy bombs. Yes. Okay, maybe we can survive this. Maybe we can just ever so slightly survive this. We've got ourselves some melee infantry out on the battlefield fighting these cannon boys. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to pause the game again. The cannon boys are just too powerful. He's got so much health. I don't actually even have the money to buy more units. This is so impossible. Thank goodness I can just cheese the game. Otherwise, we'd have a problem. All right, we're deploying the carpet bomber again. Go, lovely carpet bomber, go. Please save the day, because my goodness, we will otherwise be screwed. That didn't even hit any of the other men. All right, we've paused the game again.
That's great.
I have to keep the game in a perpetual state of being held, so that way another bombing plane can be loaded up and sent out. Otherwise, it's game over. All right, unleash the bombs. Let's go, my lovely carpet bombs.
Boom.
Yes, big money, big money. We're actually able to buy ourselves a turret here, which should hopefully do a good job of shooting the enemy. Yep, there we go. We've got ourselves a brand new turret here that does a pretty decent job. There we go. Hit them, please. The problem is the units of this era just have significantly more health, which makes them really difficult to deal with. And oh my goodness, we could lose our base. There we go. Okay, pausing for another carpet bomb. All right, deploying carpet bomb now. Away you go, carpet bombs. Away you go. Splendid stuff. Good damage done from my carpet bombs. All right, deploy the bombers. Away you go. Good stuff. Yeet them into the ground. Lovely. And now we can buy ourselves a double machine gun turret, which does a little bit of damage. Yeah, it's not terrible. It's okay. It's got better range. It's better than nothing, their base has 3,200 health. Mine has 294. I'm definitely playing it very close in terms of the general danger, because if one of these units gets slightly too close, it will unload a huge amount of attacks, and quite frankly, I can't get units out in time. Although, I guess that's not really true. There is another cheat with this game, which is that if I press this to buy a unit, I have to wait for it to train, but if I press it and pause the game and just wait a period of time, the unit then just appears. That's how video game works, ladies and gentlemen. Let's buy ourselves another turret. There we go. With all of our turrets up and running, we are now properly doing damage. Let's buy the final turret spot for this age, and now the enemy unit shouldn't be able to get close. That is until they pull out a tank, at which point we're in the danger zone again. Oh, speaking of which, look, it's Mr. Danger Zone. How wonderful of him to come out and see us today, right? Unleash the bombs on the tank. As you can see, didn't really do that much damage. Luckily, the turrets are here to mop it up, and that's 9 9,100 from blowing
Now
up that
what?
tank, which is brilliant as
Upgrade
it now
to
means we can
nuclear
move on to
bomb,
the
chat.
final age of the game, the space age. That's right, here we are with brand new access turrets like this laser boy, which shoots
Boing.
off tiny green orbs, but it has really bad range. I probably shouldn't have bought it. Right, so I've deliberately trained 2 new units and paused the game so that way they
Ooh,
train instantly. And
specimens.
now we're in a situation where we should be ready to deal with whatever the AI throws our way,
nice.
because we're an age ahead of them until
It's
just
the
now there we go,
super
they've caught
beam.
up. Okay, right. So Operation Cheese the Game final mode is now upon us. And in this age, once again, the AI is absolutely cheating out the wazoo. Our
Dude.
units stand
hate
absolutely
it when
no
the
chance
AI
against
just
them,
straight
which
up
means we can't
cheats.
play fair.
I
Instead,
hated like when I played Age of Empires as a kid and you would go above intermediate. You just couldn't beat it without like, I don't know, like cheesing it and shit. I hated that.
we have to
'Cause
do
you
a
get
very
extra
silly
resources
strategy
and
using some
shit,
of the
too.
fancy space age technology that we've just got our hands on. Now, there's an interesting mechanic that happens when our turrets are shooting. You might notice that our
He's a
red turret
cheeser.
here that
Yeah, he's an
actually has decent
honorary
range,
smuggler.
when the enemy in front of it died, it continued firing for a little bit of time, and those bullets hit the enemy standing behind. It's going to happen
Okay.
here again. This range unit dies, and a few shots land at the back. This is what we're going to use to actually beat the impossible difficulty,
Wait, it
because
didn't hit him.
otherwise we don't stand a
it did.
chance. And I think with this last chap going down, yes, we now have ourselves 100,000, which means we can buy the best turret in the game, the Ion Ray. It fires these lovely blue orbs of near instant death that do copious amounts of damage to the
Holy.
enemy. But most importantly, they're going to allow us to hopefully break this game quite a bit. Oh dear, the
Oh?
enemy have brought out a tank. Great. Luckily for us, the blue weapon has such incredible range it can still hit
By the way, he
enemy.
still
so
has
let's
the
go.
healing buff,
Okay, tank
too.
blown up. That's 26,000 added to the bank. Wonderful stuff. Come on, keep up the damage. All right, we're going to sell that turret and buy ourselves another blue one. Perfect. 2 blue turrets now.
Nice.
With that, the enemy should now no longer be able to even get close to our base. The only issue is, how do we get close to theirs? And basically, it's going to rely on us getting even more turrets. So what you can see is happening here is quite simply the enemy is spawning in
Enemy's
more
healing
units,
buff? No,
and
I
we are
meant
somehow
with
managing
him.
to shoot
He
them
has
from
the
across the
healing
map.
buff and he's
But
still
occasionally, a
struggling.
bullet like this one here overshoots the enemy and hits its base, which you can notice by the fact that they are now on 4,640 health. Ooh, and make that 3,680. Yes, these turrets are so overpowered they quite simply reach across the map, and provided the
What?
occasional shot misses the enemy, we're in a situation where we overshoot them and manage to hit the base behind them,
Nice.
accidentally doing
Rat
massive
shit.
amounts of damage. Yes, they're down to half health. Who even needs
Easy.
units to beat Age of War? Where we're going, it's all about the turret.
Turrets.
So with that, they're down to 1,340 health,
I
and
liked
the next
building a
unit they
bunch of
bring in, come on.
cannons,
Yes,
cannon
it's a
towers.
lovely ranged boy. If we drop these 2, we should overshoot,
Nice,
and come
nice,
on, base.
nice.
It's on
Come
20
on!
HP, 20 health. Oh my goodness, we almost
Oh my
have them.
goodness.
I can't shoot that guy, and yes, we did it. We did it. We beat this impossible game that has eluded me for my entire life.
Wow.
Yes, impossible difficulty, Age of War. You
The little baby Spiffing Brit is so happy internally.
thought you were meant to be difficult, but alas, you could easily be cheesed by just using the pause function of the game and
Cheesed.
stacking some
Ha, ha,
overpowered
ha.
healing mechanics. What do we get for winning? Quite simply, this
Nothing.
incredible message. Congratulations, you won the war and destroyed your enemy.
There's something so wholesome about this. But you know what? That was probably like a 17, 16-year-old kid that made this. Yeah, an enemy.
Yes, with the enemy defeated, I, the Spiffing Brit, reign
The
supreme.
enemy.
We have managed to vanquish our foes in glorious
You
style
sell
and
kids?
pizzazz.
Yeah, maybe, I
and
don't
I'm
know.
very proud of myself.
Maybe
So we have
not.
it, Age of War, a flash
You're
game
just a
from
stupid
2007,
American
made
kid,
by
you
an
know?
indie dev purely for the functions of a competition.
So
Lo and
cute.
behold, does contain some exploits and bugs. Who would have imagined it? So
Who
if you
would've
have any
thought?
other flash games from your past that
I
you just
never
couldn't quite
cheated.
beat and you'd like to see me break them, let me know what they are in the comment section. Thank you for giving it a like, and
There's
also a
some really
massive thank you
old-
to our glorious YouTube channel members and Patreons who fund all of my nonsense. Anyway, I'll see each and every one of you in the next one. Have a lovely day, and goodbye for now.
I don't know. There's so many games that are lost to time, and I don't remember their names. Ah. Tower defense. Well, that's how we got balloons, so I don't know. There's so many games. Famous Flash games. I'd have to see them. Top 10 favorite classic Flash games. Ooh, I played, yeah, the Super Mario Brothers crossover. Yeah. There was one that was like, jumping samurai game where you have to like beat the floors and like avoid the spikes and stuff. I remember playing that. Gosh, there's just so many. N plus? Oh my god, you guys know what I'm talking about? Is it N plus? N is a legendary. Yeah, N! Yeah, I played N plus. Gosh, I can't believe you guys know what I'm talking about. Hold on, I'll put it on the screen. N plus game. Oh my god, I remember this. My brother found this and he showed it to me. This. Yeah, the little ninja guy. And you'd explode and shit. Yeah, this. You could go really fast, yeah. Oh my god, this is actually so insanely nostalgic. Yeah, with the turrets. That's crazy, man. I can't believe you guys remember what I'm talking about. Oh my god. That is so cute. Yeah. I could never beat it. I was too stupid. But I like the jumping and shit. Yeah. Wall jumping. Damn, dude. Crazy nostalgia. Lion Rider, yeah, that was another one. I don't know, there's like a lot of them. Again, all lost to time. Alana, don't leave us, we'll miss you. But why? I'll stream again. It's a big deal. What's the big deal? I'll stream again. It's like I'm going away forever. God. What the frick? Yeah. What's wrong with you, chat? Why are you sad? We'll see each other again. What's the problem? What's the problem? Link? Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, go check him out. Mr. Spiffing Brit. He's really nice. Really fun to watch. Turn brain off.
Oh yeah. Fire, fire, fire.